The text came at 8:14 p.m. She doesn't want old people ruining it. You're uninvited. I read it twice, then a third time, slower. The glow from my phone lit up the wrinkles on my hand, the same hand that had signed the $19,500 check last month. My granddaughter's Sweet 16, the one I'd planned for 6 months, the one I'd paid for down to the imported cupcakes. Uninvited. My daughter-in-law sent it, of course. No apology, no hesitation, just arrogance wrapped in digital indifference. I could almost hear her voice as I read it, sweet on the surface, venom underneath. I didn't reply. Instead, I sat in the stillness of my kitchen, listening to the faint hum of the refrigerator and the ticking clock. My coffee had gone cold. My pulse hadn't. For the first time in years, I didn't feel old. I felt aware. And I decided, quietly, that if I wasn't welcome at the party I paid for, I'd make sure they never forgot who made it possible. The night before the party, I started my work. My son used to call me every Sunday. He stopped when he married her. She never liked me. Too traditional, too blunt, too unwilling to pretend she was something she wasn't. She came from nothing, but wore her arrogance like a diamond. It glimmered when she smiled. I watched her turn my son into a stranger, obedient, cautious, muted. Every decision passed through her filter. Even my granddaughter, Emma, spoke to me less. When she did, it felt rehearsed. Still, I paid for everything. I did it for Emma, not for her mother. But deep down, I knew the woman couldn't let that stand. I'd watched her type before, furious, quick, with manicured fingers that trembled from entitlement. Uninvited. That word kept echoing in my mind, bouncing against old memories. The first bike I bought Emma, the time I held her when she was feverish, the birthday cards she stopped answering when she turned 13. There's something cruel about being erased by your own bloodline. But cruelty doesn't frighten me. I've survived worse. I started small. I called the event planner, said there'd been a banking issue. She confirmed the balance had been paid from my account, the contract under my name. Perfect. Then I made another call. The catering company, the DJ, the florist. Each one heard the same calm, polite voice. This is Mr. Reed, the payer on file. There's a change in arrangements. I'll send updated instructions tonight. None of them questioned me. People rarely question the one who holds the checkbook. That night, I went through the guest list. My daughter-in-law had turned Emma's birthday into a social parade. Names of people who wouldn't remember her by Monday. But I noticed something. No mention of my son's co-workers, the ones he used to speak fondly of. I reached out to one of them. A quiet conversation confirmed what I'd suspected. My daughter-in-law had been using my son's access at work to fund her business expenses. Money moved, accounts blurred, all hidden under charity invoices. My $19,500 wasn't the first thing she'd stolen. By dawn, I had copies of everything I needed. Bank statements, transfers, text messages. My son was blind, but I wasn't. This wasn't just about a party anymore. This was about reminding her that money may buy her dresses and cameras and praise, but not silence. The day of the party, I didn't go. I drove past the venue once. Cars lined the street. Light spilled from the hall. Music thundered through the windows. Expensive, shallow joy. They were celebrating with my money. But I wasn't bitter. I was ready. At 8 p.m. when the speeches began, every vendor received an automated email from me terminating their contracts effective immediately due to fraudulent authorization by a non-account holder. The catering stopped mid-course. The DJ's system powered down. The decorative lights blinked out one by one. The music fell silent. And then the police arrived. Not for me, for her. A financial investigation, federal. I'd filed the report 2 days earlier, including her forged transactions and misuse of my funds. My son's employer had been notified too. They'd already opened their own case. By the time she stepped outside, makeup streaked and heels sinking into the grass, 2 agents were waiting with questions she couldn't answer. Inside the hall, people whispered. Outside, I watched from my car, unseen. She called me later that night. Her voice cracked through tears. "You did this!" I waited a moment, then answered, "No, you did. You ruined her birthday." I almost laughed. "No, dear, you did that the moment you texted me." She went silent. I could hear her breathing, shallow, panicked, unraveling. "I hope you're proud of yourself," she finally said. I leaned back in my chair, watching the reflection of the streetlights fade through my window. I am. Because now, so is my granddaughter. Before she could speak again, I hung up. Emma showed up at my house a week later. No camera, no glitter, no entourage. She didn't speak for a long time. Then she whispered, "Mom said you took everything from her." I looked at her, really looked. The same eyes as my son, the same stubborn tilt of her chin. "No," I said quietly. "I just took back what was already mine." She nodded slowly. Something inside her shifted. Maybe understanding, maybe shame. When she left, I felt nothing. No pride, no guilt, just silence. Some people mistake silence for weakness. It's not. It's the sound of control returning, and I've waited my whole life to hear it again.